All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not Hectic Fred, but this is Nothing But Net. Flax is here.
How we doing? I finally got my own chair this time because Fred's not here.
True.
Stole Fred's chair.
Yeah, you're normally in the
That
chair
one.
that you probably can't even see on camera.
don't
We do have a chair here that needs to be built
Yeah.
for you, but
And
nobody's built it.
We still have 2 cameras, but it works this week.
Because Fred's not here.
Fred's not here, mate.
Well, this is our first episode with not all 3 people here, which shows is Hectic Fred the least important person on this cast? Because we've had weeks where you were in Melbourne, we postponed it. I was in Melbourne, we postponed it. Hectic Fred's not here, and we're just like, nah, we'll do it anyway.
We will push on. We'll push through. And
It's actually worth noting the reason that we are doing this without Hectic Fred is because we're committed to dropping consistently every week on the same day, as we've said the last 2 times in the last 4 weeks because it's been inconsistent. So this is a commitment to consistency.
it is consistently the most inconsistent podcast. That's one thing we can consistently tell you.
We're called Nothing But Net, but it's just nothing but consistency.
Nothing but consistency.
To be honest. But
Oh, man.
speaking of nothing but consistency, completely unrelated to that, today's episode, Flax, is a Q&A show because Hectic Fred, the only person here with ball knowledge, unless you go to our TikTok comments section where nobody thinks we have any ball knowledge. Fair enough. We're doing a Q&A show, so Hectic Fred wasn't here to mastermind things to talk about, so we've turned to the Nothing But Net audience. What would you call, this is the first question that I'm coming up with, what would you call our audience? You know how like Taylor Swift fans are Swifties?
They're nothing but netters.
Just netters?
The netters.
I feel like Nothing But Netters is a bit long.
You thought that when we made
Netters is
it,
alright.
when we came up with the title for this podcast, because we were coming up, we were throwing things around. I was like, nothing but net. He was like, it's a bit long. And then
It was,
when we
for
made
a
the
username.
and when we made the Instagram, I put it as it's nothing but net. He was like, that's a bit long. Put it to nothing but net pod, and it's the same.
That's a true story. What? No. I hate how true that is. That's literally what happened now. I remember
I
that.
was just waiting there. I was like, bruh,
Oh.
it's the same.
And like I didn't I don't know if you guys know this if you're watching, but I'm actually really dumb. in fact, I'd like to get into how dumb I am. Can I? We're going to go off topic. We will get to the questions, but I've got plenty of stories about how dumb I am. So do you want to hear a couple?
Sure.
I'll tell 2, and this will just really paint how dumb I am as a person. Skip 5 minutes ahead if you want the NBA talk. So I used to live in Wollongong on campus at uni. I've now moved. In the last few weeks before I was moving, it was just me there, and you have like a key, right? There's one key, and it's one where you tap it on the door to open the door. What are they like? What are
They're
they?
like pass keys.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've walked out of my room without the key. And as I closed the door, I've gone, oh, I don't have my key. Bang, door closes. Because they're like really heavy doors. You can't stop them closing. And so I go down to the front desk and I'm like, hey, like I left my key in my room. I just need to go in and grab it. And usually they charge you $50 for a new key. But because I was just going in and getting it, like I didn't lose the key. I just forgot it. So they were like, whatever, we'll go up and let you in. I live on the 7th floor as well. It's worth noting I'm on the top floor. So you go in the lift. We're going up to the top floor, whatever. And the lady taps it, lets me in. I walk in and I needed to pee. So I've gone into the bathroom, peed, walked out of the bathroom, straight back out of the apartment, closed the door, and I've gone, oh, I still don't have my key. So then I go back down to the front desk and I'm like, hey, funny story. I still don't have my key. I know you just let me in to get it, but that was I think that's probably the worst thing I've ever done in terms of dumbness.
That just paints a picture of Winston Neville. And then
Well-
the second dumbest thing is he decided to go for the Bulldogs. So
Oh, come on. And then
third,
the Knicks. And then the
the
Giants.
I'd actually put the Giants higher.
There was another dumb thing I did yesterday just to really paint a picture of how dumb I am. So I've now moved to somewhere closer to Revesby. I'm not going to dox myself.
No?
You can dox me if you want because you have my address. but let's
Everyone
not do
doxed
that.
me last
Yeah,
week.
We're not doxing Winston. But I've moved closer to Revesby. And anyway, I'm ordering groceries and I order online. Last week I did it through Coles, which was my first time ordering at my new place. Every other time ever, I've done it through Woolworths. I ordered through Coles last week. Didn't like their sausages. I prefer the Woolworths one. So I went, all right, I'll go back to Woolworths. So I'm ordering.
Man and his sausages,
Yeah, I know.
bro.
Sausages, they're important, all right? Hot take. And this is a reward for anyone listening to Nothing But Net that knows hot dog reviews. I prefer a sausage sizzle to a hot dog. That's a hot take for you.
Hot take.
Don't leak that. Don't leak that, all right?
Damn.
That's
He
controversial.
prefers to go to Bunnings than to go to the Accor Stadium.
Honestly, bro.
Hot dog stand.
Honestly. Anyway, so I've like placed the order through Woolworths, placed the order, whatever. And then 30 minutes later, I've gone, oh, I didn't change the address. I live an hour away from Wollongong, and I've ordered my groceries to Wollongong.
Classic. And this is a man that doesn't have a car as well.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say that I had to go Uber drive him
Yeah.
today. So
Great
you know,
Uber. Great
yeah.
service.
Absolutely. 5 out of 5
I
stars.
will be getting a car.
Did we get a tip?
No.
Spit on.
I'll give you a tip. Always look both ways before you cross the road.
Thank you. You know, I work in a pub, so
Yeah.
it's like there's a tip jar there, and it's a joking thing between the regulars. And every time they're like, "Oh, do you want a tip?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if you don't mind, be nice to your mother," and walks away. I'm like, it's
You hear
every
that
time,
So much.
every time.
It's like in Home Alone when the dude's like, "Can I get a tip?" and Kevin gives him his gum. Have you seen? Oh, you haven't seen Home Alone?
I know what you're referencing, but
Yeah, good.
I have seen Home Alone. I haven't seen Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
So
good. Home
but-
Alone 2 is good.
But yeah,
Do you want to get into
basketball.
some Q&A?
So, well, before we get into Q&A, I just want to go over sort of the small things that happened this week. Obviously, LA fires happened.
yeah.
You know,
Thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by
thoughts
that.
and prayers to everyone. JJ Redick
Horrible.
lost his house.
Yeah,
You know,
horrible.
yeah, just insane. And I see a lot of people blaming like Australians because what happened in like years and years and years ago is what happened is America like imported a bunch of eucalyptus trees from Australia to California in the driest part.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's
I get the logic, to be fair.
yeah, so you know, but thoughts and prayers to everyone
Yeah, nah, horrible.
affected. You know, it's absolutely crazy what's happening there.
Yeah,
You know, especially Australians. You know, we've had those type of bushfire seasons, so and
Yeah,
you know,
especially, like,
it's
like-
winter there. You know, it's not even like
And
a
like where you live and where like I grew up,
yeah,
very bushfire prone. Like we had the big ones in 2019.
the Black Saturday ones.
like,
you know,
So we can resonate with how like what they're going through, and it's not anything
Oh,
that you want to
yeah.
go through. At
no,
all, so it's
absolutely not.
horrible.
Like we've seen family and friends lose their houses and
yeah,
whatnot. So
it's just not what you want.
yeah. Other things happened. OKC versus the Cavs, and the Cavs, man.
They're looking good.
We have a question from a person about that the Cavs, and we'll get to that in a second. But the Cavs are looking good, man. OKC. I said this last week, and people gave me shit. I just want to say, you guys gave me shit, but OKC. Look, I think they're slight pretenders. You know?
I rate them a lot.
I said
they
that
did
they
to the
would go under
Knicks.
when they're under pressure. They won't hold up.
Yeah, you did
and
say
you know
that.
they didn't against the Bucks, and they didn't against the Cavs, and they verse again one more time later in the year.
Yeah.
And I think that Cavs are gonna knock them around.
They
So
did destroy the Knicks
yeah,
the other day. So I feel like OKC are a very good basketball team.
they're a very
but
good
you are,
basketball
like,
team, but under pressure, they're
yeah,
still
you're
young,
not-
man.
yeah,
They're
you're
still
not-
young.
And you did say that last week.
Yeah.
So
So I
there
just
is a
want
bit of ball knowledge
get
here.
that. So tad bit of ball knowledge. So yeah,
Between the two of us, there's a little bit of ball.
you know, like
knowledge.
we know a bit about a bit. You know.
Do you want to get into the
Let's-
questions?
I was going to say, let's get into questions. And one of the questions was, can the Cavs beat the Golden State record?
Yeah, well,
The-
we'll just start there. But I will say, I just want to preface most of these questions. We had a little glance over them. There's a lot of these that we will be answering without seeing. There's, from what we've seen, some funny ones, some serious ones. So this just could be anything.
Yeah,
really
this
directly
is
good.
this is a big CBA.
But do you want to start with the question that was asked?
Yeah. Can
Cavs.
the Cavs beat the record that the Golden State put up 2016, I believe it was the 73-9. Cavs are on 4 losses this year already.
Yeah.
And
Are we at halfway?
we're slightly
close.
before, so it's like 30. They're at like 32-4. Like we're pretty much
They're basically on track.
halfway, but they still got, as I said, they still got a game against OKC. I believe they still have a few tough games. They haven't versed the Clippers yet. They haven't versed. Oh, they have. They haven't
Mate,
versed.
Clippers is an easy game.
They haven't.
What do you
But
mean
there's
tough
they have
game?
teams they haven't versed yet at
I
all.
think they have to play Celtics a couple.
They
more
do have to
times.
play Celtics again. Like
Knicks a couple times, which I'm not trying to be like, oh, Knicks are tough, but like Knicks are third in the
this is,
East.
mate,
They are third
if
in
you
the
thought
East.
he loved hot dogs, just wait till you see the fucking Knicks hot dog,
But
bro.
like-
He loves those.
But we are talking like the top two teams in the East.
They're not the top two.
No,
they're the top.
outside of the Cavs, the next two teams are Celtics and Knicks, and they play both of them multiple times.
Yeah,
So
look,
that's a valid thing to say.
it's a valid thing.
You're
And
already like, oh, they have to play the 6th best team in the West. Okay, I was like, bro,
Mate,
nobody cares.
mate, what?
Nobody cares about that.
And people give me crap about that last week.
Are they
as
even
well.
6th at the moment?
Right, we are. I think we are.
I
No,
hope
we've
they're
lost.
not.
We've lost 2 games, like the last 2 games we played, which doesn't help my point. But look,
Clippers are 7th.
We're 7th. We're still
You're
we're
in the
still
play-in.
there. We're
In the
still
play-in.
there, mate. We're still there,
Play-in
and that's
team.
all that matters. But the crazy thing is how like they're 30. Well, I don't even. They're 32-4, 33-4.
Yeah.
They are on a 12-game win streak.
33-5.
No, they're 33.
They lost. The
They-
Cavs? Is that it? You're talking about the Cavs?
I'm talking about the Cavs. I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
mate. I'm telling. They lost to the Pacers today.
No,
They lost to the Pacers.
No way.
What are we talking
What
about
are we
right now?
They lost to the Pacers.
They're not beating that record,
Bro,
ladies
they
and
are not
gentlemen.
Look. This is what it shows up on mine. Like,
Refresh it. I don't know.
yeah,
Yours is
look,
broken.
This is what you can't see it.
I rate that. Get up and show
Get
it.
up and have a look.
Yeah, no, he's broken.
Mine is
To-
broken for some reason. I can't believe they lost
I
to
didn't,
the Pacers.
I didn't check NBA today because I've been watching the NFL playoffs.
Oh my!
I watched the Knicks
The
game.
Buccaneers, bro, they suck. But anyway,
Yeah, well, to answer the question, will the Cavs break their record? I'm saying no.
look. Well, there's 4 games they can lose, and now they
Yeah.
are. Look, I put them massive money to win the next game.
Who do they play next?
I couldn't tell.
Massive money. Ooh, you know what else
Who-
is massive? Low taper fade.
Jesus.
I'm just looking up, ladies and gentlemen, how many more times they play Celtics.
They play. What? Yeah, it hasn't popped up today's
1,
games. That's insane.
2.
So the Cavs next games against OKC. The Cavs next games against OKC off a loss. They win that game. I'm telling you right now, the OKC are not winning that game because they're 32-6 right now. But this is still impressive. Like 33.
It's impressive, but I don't think they're gonna break that.
Maybe
Golden State
look.
record.
If they hadn't have lost today,
They-
I would definitely.
It'll
have them.
be tight.
It'll be
It'll
tight. How many losses? What's the over under? Do you reckon? Like
How many did Golden State lose? 9.
9.
Because I'd probably put the over under at 9 or 10. Like if they've lost 5
I don't
so
think-
far.
How much do you think? What's the like? They will probably not lose more than like 15. I don't
They-
see them losing 15.
I don't see them losing more than 12.
More than 12. Alright.
Let's play a bit of a game. We keep moving the line until you get over and I get under or whatever. It's like I've got it at
11.
under 12. 11. I reckon. Are you saying over or under?
I'm
11?
saying they will not lose more than 11 games.
Oh, that's probably where I see it.
Yeah.
That's a good line. I guess I'll take the
They-
over 11
yeah.
if you want the under.
That's
but yeah.
crazy. They do not lose against OKC.
think
I'm
they
telling
lose
you
again.
right now, they do not lose. They've just lost
How long ago did they play OKC again?
like
Just the
last
other day.
week,
And Cavs won.
and Cavs won. It was close. Like there was like 17 lead changes. There was like it was a close game up until the end.
I bet you OKC win tomorrow
I don't think they win. Oh, tomorrow.
or whenever that game is.
Nah, it's
Is
on.
it
It's on.
Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday.
This is elite. Elite.
Very
Oh,
late. They play
Pacers
Thursday.
again tomorrow. Thursday.
Do they
bet
play
ya-
Pacers again tomorrow?
Yeah, bro.
Oh.
So that won't even come.
Oh, so that's not even the next game.
Mate, I'm
Oh,
telling
they
you.
beat the Pacers.
OKC win.
They no.
OKC win.
There's a handshake. I
OKC
don't know
win.
if you can see that.
It was kind of on that
It was
camera.
kind of on that camera, but
OKC win.
how insane is it? Because like you look at the Steph Curry team. You have Steph Curry. You have Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Like you have stars there now,
Yeah.
and then you look at
The
like
Cavs,
no
and
one
it's
thought
just
the
like,
Cavs were gonna do
Well,
this.
they got a dude named after Toby Sexton, and that's about it.
Colin Sexton. We're actually going for him. The Clippers are like potentially
Yeah.
going for him, and I'm
I
hoping we do.
but their roster just isn't that good. Like nobody saw this
Like
coming.
Donovan Mitchell, Garland.
aged,
like Donovan
bro.
Mitchell is like not even on Steph
He's
Curry's
past his
level. I'm
prime.
sorry, I'm not gonna lie.
Even prime Donovan Mitchell isn't, and he's like past his prime. or
Exactly,
was
and then
past
you
his
have
prime.
Garland as well. No one
Yeah.
thought he was gonna have the year. Mobley, I kind of expected it because he's really young. You know, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's good.
Um,
but they're just-
Jared
it's
Allen,
just-
but they had the issues the previous years where it was like Allen and Mobley were just like clashing, and this year's just worked.
I didn't even have him in the playoffs. Like,
Really?
nah, bro. I just disregarded him, eh? But that's
That's
my bad. I
insane.
don't know why I'm on an NBA podcast.
Yeah,
When
so-
I'm disregarding the Cavs. I happen to move to the next question
Next question.
because there's a lot to get through.
There is a lot to get through.
As I said, I don't know if I said this on it, but I said to Flax before. Some will just be quick, and some will go in depth. So we're just vibing it. But I want to get to every question if we have time. If Jalen Brunson, here we go. This is what we want. We want a next question. If Jalen Brunson was to leave never mind. I don't want to answer this question. What do you mean if Jalen Brunson was to leave?
Yeah, it'd make the Knicks better, wouldn't it?
If Jalen Brunson, no. If Jalen Brunson was to leave New York, is this wood? Which team would he fit in best with?
Not the Dallas Mavericks.
So it'd be a team that needs a point guard. Who
You
needs
know
a point
what?
guard?
If the Lakers didn't have Reeves,
You're taking Brunson over Reeves.
you're taking Brunson over Reeves. You're taking Brunson. Like, who's Miami's point guard? They like
Yeah, that's a
Miami.
shout.
Miami. If you had Brunson and Butler,
Yeah, well, Butler's probably Butler would
Brunson,
stay.
Butler, bam.
Butler wouldn't leave.
Because they have what Terry Rozier, and they had I don't think who else. Maxi, no, wouldn't go to 76ers. Boston have
Rozier's their point. Like Heat is probably the answer.
yeah.
Like because you got obviously
Who needs a point guard?
like you have Butler if he was playing, and then you have Adebayo.
Maybe
Herro.
Orlando. Oh, Orlando, bro. Because you take
Orlando
out Suggs and you put him with Paulo Banchero.
Yeah.
That's a similar.
Yeah,
I would say Orlando.
I think Heat's a good shout.
Or
Lakers is good, but
Just
they do
send him to
have
Florida.
Reeves.
Just send him to Florida.
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty good answers. Just because like they're currently teams are like around the
Or
playoffs as well.
Spurs. Brunson and
Yeah,
Wembanyama.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't like this question to be
Nah?
honest.
I love this question.
I don't
I
like
love
this
this question.
Can Cleveland beat the Celtics in 7 games? Yes,
Yeah. Boss, look,
they can. It's not.
well,
the
Boston's
question
already
isn't will
beaten them
they.
this year. Like Boston's, I believe, one of the teams that they beat. They versed again this
Yeah.
year. So we'll see if they can actually beat the Boston Celtics,
Yeah.
the Cavs. But yeah, Boston does it go 7 games?
I think it.
I think it goes.
I don't know.
I think it could be like 6. It would
Yeah,
have to
that's
go
what
6.
I was thinking 6.
I don't see a 4-1.
I was thinking like Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6.
But I think Cleveland can beat them.
They have,
I don't think they would, but I think they can.
They have that sort of fairy tale run this year where they would. I think.
What?
So I'm looking at the NBA fantasy. So this is with the fantasy. We got Tim. Fred has said thank you to this question. So Fred kind of asked this question as well. This is a question from Fred and Tim, I would say. Is Peyton Pritchard the most overrated player in the history of the game?
Well, we were literally about to answer a question: most under and overrated players this season. So that segues nicely into the next question as well.
So
Is Peyton Pritchard the most overrated player of all time? Yes.
not of all time.
I'd say the most overrated player of all time is Trae Young.
Yeah, but you're a fucking Knicks fan. This Trae Young hit a half-court shot. What has Jalen Brunson done this year?
I never said that he's. Who brought Jalen Brunson into
You brought
this?
the Knicks into this.
No,
That's,
you brought the Knicks into it. by
you brought the
labeling
Knicks
me a
because of your Knicks
fan.
biased. You
Young's
would have
overrated.
nothing to do with
So
Trae
is
Young.
Tyrese Halliburton, both overrated.
Halliburton's been a bit overrated this year.
This year
This year he's
trash.
been very bad. He's had like a few good
You know
games.
who I reckon is low-key overrated this year based on all-star voting? Dame Lillard.
Yeah,
I don't think he deserves as many votes as he's got.
I don't think like he's up there. I would say,
But
but
I don't think he should be as high as he is.
I mean, I think we discussed this the other week, where it was like it's just the household names that they
Yeah,
get picked.
correct.
But yeah, it's like maybe that's a good thing. We should look up who's overrated in the All Stars, like
Yeah.
at the moment, and who's underrated.
Who do you
shouldn't
have
be
as
there.
most underrated player this season?
He's most underrated?
Yeah. Because this person's asked over and under, so shout out to Matthew.
Kawhi Leonard.
Jalen
Zubac.
Brunson.
Zubac,
Oh, that's
bro.
a shout.
Zubac, bro.
That's a
He's
shout.
had a killer year. Norman Powell as well. I don't mean to be a biased person here, but you can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
20 points a game average from Norman Powell. He hasn't seen that in his career.
Yeah.
And then Zubac has just been on a tear as well. And the fact that, I hate that Kawhi's out. And there is a theory. I know we're going to segue a lot, guys. There's going to be a lot of segues, but we will get through the questions. There was a theory, and I want to know, not the Bulldogs 2024 theory, but there is a theory of the Clippers that I saw on a podcast, and I want to know what your thoughts about this. And the theory is that the Clippers are they've tried load managing, it hasn't worked. You know, they tried playing him last year, and he played a good amount of last year, but Kawhi Leonard can't give you a full year's worth of basketball. He just can't. His body can't handle it. So the theory is are the Clippers just saying, okay, first 3 months off preseason, off season, and the first 3 months of basketball, he just doesn't play. Don't play and then bring him back around January, February, so he can give you those months of basketball when it actually matters. So, because obviously, like we saw last year, he gave one of his best years of basketball we've seen in a long time since the Toronto era, and he broke down towards the finals, and then we lost, and we had other issues in the team with Paul George and that. But in terms of the theory of Clippers are resting him, I think it's a good theory, and I think it's actually what's happening. The fact that they're resting him until now and then booting him up like it's preseason now, getting him to play 19 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game, and then maybe towards the end of February, March, give him 25, 30, just get him to warm up. And then when it comes to the playoffs, he won't break down. Like, obviously, injuries can happen at any time, but if he's only playing 4 months, 5 months of basketball, he's less likely to get injured if he's playing 8 months of basketball. So what do you think that theory stands? Is that what the Clippers are doing?
I think the theory has legs for sure. My sort of thing is he's still playing a big chunk of basketball all at once. And I feel like it would make more sense given his history if he was playing a chunk, having a break, and then playing another chunk. Yeah. If that makes sense. So sort of misses the first. So he's missed 3 months, right?
Well, October, yeah. So
say he misses
4 months.
Say he misses the first month and a half, plays a couple months, misses another month, and then plays into a month, 2 months before playoffs. I feel like that would make more sense rather than because he's still playing such a long chunk, if you know what I mean. So there's still that chance of injury. So I don't know if that's what they're doing just from that perspective of. There's probably a better way to handle it if that's what they were doing.
I think I don't think
it has legs.
I don't think it's a bad idea because if he can give you 3 to 4 months of good basketball, why not just play him?
Yeah, 100%
in the time. And obviously a wrestler.
Well, that's where I question: can he play 4 months all in one go?
Well, he did last year. Year, he
but that wasn't the back end where it's more intense.
I get that, yeah. So it's a bit 50-50.
But they are easing him in a little bit, so it's I do get where it's coming from. And if they time it well, obviously I'm backing them to time it better than me, who just sat here and had that off the top of my head. They're the player, they're professionals running a professional basketball organization, handling just a professional basketball player. Yeah. So I am going to back them to know a thing or two more than me and do what's right. And I think it has legs. I think that theory has legs. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I think bringing him slowly into it and. Obviously, it rests on the Clippers being able to make the playoffs, and we've seen with Norman Powell being an absolute weapon and Zubac having a dominant year this year. It can work, especially with Harden, because Harden works around it well. Just adding Kawhi into that lineup and the team doing how they are, I think it has legs, especially if you're not you don't make you try to not make the play-in, so you have one less game to worry about.
Play-in, though.
They're not going to be in the play-in. They're going to make top 6, bro. They're
going
to make top 6.
They're actually in the play-in. They're such a play-in team, bro. They're a play-in team.
They're not a play-in team.
They are.
Yeah, and yours isn't a playoff team. So
we're literally
a third. What's your history?
Historically, we were in the playoffs last year. Yep.
You know what? So were we.
Hey, the last few years, the Knicks have been in the playoffs semi-consistent. We've missed once in the last 4 years. We don't talk about before then. Mate, the thing with the Knicks is they were trash and now they're good. The Clippers, they're just mid.
We're not
always
mid.
have been, always will be. Mid.
We've been exciting.
Mid. And exciting that you're in the play-in.
No,
exciting. I can't wait for Kawhi to come back.
We've been exciting. Lob City era, no team like any other team. No team has had what Clippers had, the Lob City era. No one's had that.
We had Linsanity.
12 games of Linsanity.
Yeah, we had Linsanity, bro.
Crazy.
We had Linsanity. Yeah. Nobody's topping Linsanity. He cooked Kobe.
Yeah. Trying to show him how to, why he took a shot, but that's when he played for the Lakers. But, all right, we'll go on to the next question. We've got a bit off track.
I love it, bro. I love it. We're going to get a little bit weird here. We're getting very weird, actually. If you had to pick one player to survive a zombie apocalypse with, who would you choose and why? So you can be strategic here and go who would win it in a zombie apocalypse, or who would you just want to hang around with until you die?
Would you you could go to strategic one where you go Victor Wembanyama because he can see over shit.
Yeah.
He can if you're in a store and there's a zombie in the other aisle, what zombies are we talking about though? Are we talking Walking Dead? I think we're talking Walking Dead.
They didn't ask. Probably Walking
Dead because fuck every other zombie that there is.
Hey, I don't mind Zombieland.
No, there's something.
You don't rate Zombieland?
Bro, every other zombie that isn't Walking Dead zombie is And even then, like like for the nerds out there, every other like the zombies in The Walking Dead are getting like upgraded.
Yeah.
And like they can climb shit now. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But you could go the Victor Wembanyama route.
Yeah.
You have like the tall guy. Like I wouldn't have a Chris Paul with me. Like I don't. What would Chris Paul have to offer?
Imagine like running a Muggsy Bogues or something. Like, what's he gonna do, bro?
Yeah, Joe Ingles, man. Like,
Are you going like a point guard because they've got a bit of game vision? They can string together a bit of a plan to survive the apocalypse.
No. I think I'm going a big. Like I would go with Shaq.
Yeah, if we're talking like past or present, Shaq is up there.
I'd go Shaq because like Shaq, bro, like
Yeah,
bro, like, and they might. No, I can't say that. Yeah, like he could just like bulldoze them out of the way, and then you have Wembanyama who's 7 foot. Like again, a zombie's in the other aisle. Zombies coming like from like somewhere.
Yeah.
The only thing he would have to watch is his feet, and like that's what he's got me for. I'm like I'm 5'8", bro. Like I can see if there's a zombie under the counter or something.
I'm gonna go. Sorry to cut you off. I'm going to go a different sort of strategic route. I'm in a zombie apocalypse, assuming most of the population is zombies, assuming day by day more and more people are becoming zombies. It's just, I'm a write-off. Give me Jalen Brunson. We can just have a chat. I can meet my favorite player and then turn into a zombie.
I honestly thought you were going a very different route then.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going like, zombies, 90% of the population. I'm taking Iguodala.
Why did I not go Iguodala?
I thought you were going to like defender of the universe. I'm taking Iguodala.
Bro, we missed a shot there.
I thought you were going there. I was like, bro, like he's gonna say it. Like I'm like a little kid. Like he's gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the
Zombies everywhere. The death beam is pointed at you. You pick a player.
You pick a player to not miss a shot. I'm picking Iguodala.
Yeah, I missed one there. Nah, Jalen Brunson, my Pookie Wookie bear.
I got a question for you. Obviously, NBA, NRL related.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson or Matt Burton?
I've answered this before.
I don't care what any time of the year. We're in the different universe where time doesn't matter. You have both of them in a room. You have to save one of them. Gun against your head.
Who am I saving?
Who are you saving?
Well, I need to know more variables because this isn't like, you have to understand, this isn't an easy choice where it's like, oh, okay, I can just pick. I need more variables. Like, give me, what is the situation? What are we dealing with right now? Put it in our universe because I can't comprehend other universes.
Matt Burton's just won the grand final and won the Clive Churchill, and Jalen Brunson's just won the finals MVP.
Oh, that is a nice lie. See, if you'd gone one of them had just won and one of them hadn't, I want to keep the one that hasn't won because I'm like, I need him to win, so I need him alive. If they've both just won, the finals or whatever, I'm probably keeping Matt Burton. I know him personally. I've met him like twice, so I have that personal.
He's not your best friend though. That's Stephen Crowd.
I know, but I feel like if Matt Burton's looking at me in the eyes and we've met before, and he's going like, "Why are you killing me? We've literally met. You've never met Jalen Brunson." I feel like that's dog. You know what I mean? I feel like I have more loyalty to Matt Burton having literally only met him once or twice.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those TikTok videos where it's like the top 10 ranks, and it's like with LeBron James. It's like, if I high five LeBron James, oh, that's my number 1 pick. And it's like, if he cuddled me, that's my number 2 pick. That's how I feel like you would be with any of those players. Honestly, content right there.
That's content. Let's move on to another question. Is LeBron James's longevity overrated? Has it been overhyped at the expense of the other all-time greats?
That's so dumb. No.
No?
No. Who answered that question?
Hectic
Fred, bruh, Fred. Nah, bro. LeBron, like, I saw this. I posted this in the group chat, and Fred was like, it doesn't mean rings, because I don't know. Is MJ his favorite player? Like, he thinks MJ the GOAT?
I thought Bronny James was. But
I thought Bronny James was too. No, I thought Angel Reese was the GOAT.
Yeah, correct. I'm hoping there's some Angel Reese questions here. We'll see.
He's not here. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, it's so stupid. Like, no other player has been able to, like, literally be able to do what he does. And it is insane. And you look at, I really don't want to get into the MJ LeBron debate because I feel like that would just tear this
nobody had
podcast.
asked that. So that's
no one had asked that. So we'll save that for another day. Maybe when Fred's here.
Yeah,
finale.
no, that's the
finale.
That's when the zombies are knocking at the door. We are doing the GOAT debate.
Exactly.
This is it.
And
I think, you know what we do? We record the GOAT debate podcast, and then just save it for like once the podcast ends. It's like, all right, here you guys go.
You know what? We just
Locked
posted
away
on
in
a
a
random
safe.
like Tuesday.
Yeah,
Just
I can
A
just
random
lock it
Tuesday,
away.
like in the middle of the rugby league
Have you
season.
seen that movie that like exists and it's not coming out to like the year 3000 or something? It's like made
Yeah.
to. That's what this.
It's like
episode
when the
will be.
Queen like wrote a letter, but we're not allowed to open it
Yeah,
until like
until
the
she
year
dies.
2100.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like that's what.
but
yeah.
his bro, like as I said, no one's doing what he's doing. You know, at his age, like a lot of people break down. Like obviously, you can see the decline in LeBron. Like he's not as explosive as he used to be, but even then, he just did this like massive posterizer
Yeah,
like
correct.
2 days ago. You know,
I think his longevity is an asset towards the GOAT debate. Like for me, I'm Jordan, and I'm so close to becoming LeBron because of all the things he's doing. And one of the things that I think works in his favor in the debate is his longevity because
yeah, people
nobody
seem
else
to
has
like
done
say
that.
people go like, oh, his longevity, like that doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't
Yeah,
matter?
like,
Like,
that's
you
like
know,
a
you have
legit
the
thing.
longevity of like Udonis Haslam, and then you have the longevity of LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one has culture, one's literally like top. My personal opinion: if you have to have a debate, there's no debate.
yeah,
Just saying.
yeah.
There's
So
no
I-
debate.
That's what I feel like in NRL terms, I look at a Freddie Fittler book for some reason on the desk. Like for me, Cameron Smith's longevity is what makes him arguably the greatest player of all time. Like longevity isn't overrated. Longevity is a legit thing. If I'm going like the top 3 things that you want to use as categories to debate the GOAT, I'm almost putting longevity top 3 most important
You have
things.
to. You have to. Like, obviously, look, accolades matter, but if we're talking rings, Bill Russell, he has 11. You know, you're talking the amount of finals he's played. LeBron's played 10 finals. Might not have won all of them, but look at who he's up against.
And that's the knock on LeBron. And
Yeah.
we're not getting into the GOAT argument.
No,
but
we're
that is-
not. We're
but
like
the
sleeping
knock
on the ice, you know.
the knock on LeBron is he has lost finals, and it's almost the things that are negative towards him is what hurts him. But I feel like when you're debating greatest of all time, you can't look at just accolades or just longevity or just finals appearances or just like you got to look at it all combined. And I feel like LeBron's longevity is what makes him such a strong contender in the GOAT debate and what makes him a top 2, arguably number 1 player of all time. Longevity goes towards that. That's not overrated. That's a huge thing for LeBron that puts him in the argument.
And the thing is like you look at both sides of the spectrum, right? So he's like what 40 years old. You look at a rookie putting up his numbers. You're thinking this is the best rookie of all
Yeah.
time. Like this is
Yeah.
Wembanyama like type
Yeah.
talk, you know. So yeah, I think it's stupid. It shouldn't be. It's not overrated. Like he
Yeah.
being able to do what he's able to do at
Like
40.
it makes him such a an incredible athlete. Like if we're just talking athletes,
athlete.
like to be
Who's
able
the
to do that
greatest
at his
athlete
age,
at all time. The greatest athlete at 40 of all time is him.
like athlete, yeah,
You know, and if you're saying it's him, then at 39 it was also him.
yeah.
But then you're gonna get the soccer
Like, it's
fans
just-
and all this other shit.
Like longevity isn't overrated.
Like will
Longevity
will
is
will,
such
will
an
Messi
important
be able to
thing.
do this at 40? Do what he's doing at 40? No.
No, yeah, like that's just I could no. To answer the question, longevity is not overrated.
Longevity is not overrated. That is.
Let's go.
Look, I'm not a man for saying and no question is stupid,
yeah.
but that was close.
Well, mate,
That was-
if you think no question's stupid, wait for this one. If with change of pace, change of tone. If teams were required to use their mascot as their starting center, which team would dominate the league? Basically, which NBA mascot best center? Benny the Bull would be up there, I reckon.
the Hawk,
The Hawk,
bro. The Hawk can just
'Cause
fly,
it can
bro.
fly.
Like
Yeah.
you know, just boom,
Yeah,
block central.
yeah.
You know,
That's a fair shout.
I
What other birds are there? Are there other birds? In the
I mean,
NBA?
Clippers had a bird like as their
Yeah.
but it was like
And that's
very
are we
weird.
talking mascot is in that
Pelican,
the character,
like-
or are we talking mascot is in like are the New York Knicks represented by a pair of pants? Because they're not the greatest center in their league. I'll give you the hint.
yeah, like
But yeah, Pelicans.
yeah. Is it the Hawks? Like, is it the
It's
Hawks
gotta be a bird
mascot,
'cause they can
or
fly.
is it the actual thing?
That's not the Lakers because it's just a lake.
It's just a lake.
They're not getting any boards.
Well, depends. Like,
Is there any other aerial mascots? I can't think of any.
the Pelicans, but the Pelicans
Like outside of Pelicans and Hawks, the
the
Rockets, the
Rockets,
Hornets.
Hornets. Nah, but Hornets are too small.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The Rockets though, like just imagine like shooting a rocket at
I'm
a basketball.
almost going the Rockets. The Raptors.
the Thunder like strike
yeah.
lightning.
See, now we're getting into it.
Now-
I think I'm going to go the Rockets.
Nah,
think a
I'm keeping
rocket
it
is
with the
being a
Hawks,
hawk.
bro.
A
Like
hawk is way smaller than a rocket.
Yeah, but Hawk.
What about? Hear me out here. Hear me out. Orlando Magic.
What?
Because they're magic. They're just going to magically get the board.
Just it reminds me of that.
They just magically the ball's in the hoop. Oh, Magic. We're winning by 1,000 now. It's Magic. You're
What,
not
this-
beating Orlando Magic.
This
Realistically,
this isn't Space Jam, bro.
they're Magic. It's in the name. They're Orlando Magic. I'm taking Orlando Magic. How are you beating Orlando Magic? Actually, tell me how you're beating them.
The Nets by just putting another net there.
Oh, Magic, you're not a net anymore. You're not beating Orlando Magic. Am I wrong? You can't beat Magic.
I don't like this.
They're Magic.
The 76ers, because no one knows what they are.
Because they're a number?
They
They didn't even need to do Magic on the 76ers. They're just a number. Well, there's 76 centers there. Nah, Orlando Magic takes the cake for me. That takes the cake for me.
Oh my
Can the Knicks actually compete with some of the elite teams? I think yes. But the thing with the Knicks this season has been the inconsistency. They've been so, like, when they're playing at their best, they not only can compete with the elite, they can beat the elite. But the issue with the Knicks at the moment is one game like today, they're at their absolute best and they beat the Bucks by 30, and then they roll up and lose to the Jazz. And it's just, they really need to sort out that inconsistency. I think they need to add some depth. They need some more bench players. Clearly the bench isn't deep enough. I know Robinson's still to come back. And as I said, there was no problem with the bench today when they beat the Bucks. I just think it comes down to the Knicks. It's the consistency. Even I remember going into the season, it's we just need to stay healthy. We haven't really had any major injury issues yet outside of Jalen Brunson pretending to be hurt today with a shoulder injury so he could go watch the Eagles playoffs game. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that.
They reckon so he got injured right as his NFL team's game started. And he got hurt, didn't even go to the bench. He just went straight up the tunnel. And everyone reckons he was just going to watch the start of the game. I'm like, come on, man. But yeah, I think, can they compete with the elite teams? They can, but they just really need to pull together some consistency because at their best, they 100% can.
My thing is look, they have Jalen Brunson, who's like a star. They have Cat, obviously all star, but for me, they'll get to the playoffs and they'll do something similar to the Cavs. I feel like this is where Boston have that. It's like Penrith, right? You have Penrith up against the Sharks. The Sharks, such a good team throughout the year, and then you have it's the experience in the finals, and that's what in the playoffs, and that's what I think you guys. Obviously, you've played somewhat consistently.
See, that's where I'm almost. Being in the finals and it being a 7-game series almost gives me more confidence because they're not going to play 7 bad games. And obviously you can be like, well, they're probably not going to play 7 good games. But the Knicks have been good more than they've been bad.
I think,
and that's where I'm the 7-game series gives me more confidence.
This is the question. It's not if they're playing 7 bad games. Are they capable of not playing 4 bad games?
Yes. They play more good than they're playing at their best. Their absolute best, more than they're playing at their worst.
They remind me of the Parramatta Eels. They play good against the good teams and bad against the bad teams.
No, but the Bucks, they're a decent team. They absolutely. There has been
they're
examples
2
this
games
season.
behind you. Not even.
They've jumped,
They've played 3 games less than you. So
I really do feel like it comes down to consistency. But at their best, they can. At their best, they can beat the good teams. And that's where I'm the question is, can they compete with the elite teams? Yes, they can.
I feel compete. I think they can compete. Do I think they can compete enough to make the finals? No.
And it's a different thing where it's can they and will they? They're 2 different questions as well.
Are they capable of it? Maybe.
Yeah.
I give it a good 72%.
I'm obviously nervous, but I'm excited as well just to see what are they going to produce when it comes to finals because they really are, almost like a mystery box at the moment where it's they could shake up the league and go on this huge run, but they also could just lose the first round. I don't know. It's exciting and nerve-wracking at the moment.
I'll take over a question now.
Yep.
If Jared McCain didn't get injured, would he be Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Even with his little TikTok dance.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with a little TikTok dance, man. Nothing wrong. Now the question is, who's there instead. And now Edie, I think, is a good choice. But I don't I think if McCain didn't get injured, he would have been Rookie of the Year.
I think
without
a
a doubt,
it's Edie that gets it now.
Stephen Castle is I would say a wild card. He's playing really good for the Spurs right now. But I think Edie's got it on lockdown, and it's sad to see that rookie it would have been a really cool accolade to have. And speaking of accolades, Luka actually cannot. He is now ineligible for any awards.
Which, to be fair, I don't think he was going to win any because he had already been out. But
he had already been out, but he was leading. There was a stat the last few times he's been leading the MVP race, he's then gone on to lose, or not be able to get it, whether it's injury or whether it's this. And I want to ask you, what do you think about the injury? In terms of you have to play a certain amount of games to be able to be eligible. Do you think it's because I think it's 20 games or something?
To be
it's
honest,
a very low amount of games.
To be honest, I think it's dumb. And here's why I think it's dumb. If the players are missing the games, they're almost making themselves ineligible anyway, because that's going to impact whether they're winning the award or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I'm trying to think of times where a player has won it but played
it doesn't
very,
really
very
happen.
little games.
Usually, to win it, you
have
to be playing most of the games.
You have to be the most
and
valuable
after,
player
it's kind
of the season.
It's kind of dumb to do it because it's just if they're not playing, they're not winning it anyway. So why we just... And at the same time, you can be either way, it doesn't matter. But it's just... I think it's a waste of effort. It's just grabbing headlines and giving the media something to talk about. I'm just if Luka's missing 30 games, he's probably not winning MVP anyway.
Exactly.
So why are we making him ineligible for it?
Because in those 50 games... He could do 50, 50
and
10
and at the same time, if you're so good that you're injured and still should win it, then you should win it.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Do you know what I mean?
What do you guys say? I genuinely...
There should be no ineligibility. If you've played 50 games and you're that good that you still win it with 50 games, you should probably win the award.
I reckon, yeah. I wasn't... Yeah, I was going to be against that, but that actually makes a lot of sense. And... Yeah,
the best player should win the award, and chances are, if you're missing that many games,
that's
you're
the
probably
issue.
not the best
player never always wins the award because the voting is so fucking
but that's got nothing to do with the player's injured. In the NRL, Nathan Cleary doesn't win Dally M's because he's injured and it sucks. Yeah, but that's not because the NBA. Got a stupid rule.
I think he wins this year, but
I do as well. But we'll save that for the NRL.
We'll save that for the NRL podcast.
Do you have any? I've got 3 more questions to pump through over here. Do you have any on your end before we hit mine to finish off?
From the man Suey himself. Shout out to Suey.
Shout out to Suey.
I haven't seen him. Happy New Year, bro. What would happen if MJ came up against Steph Curry? Steph Curry wins.
Jordan was good defensively.
Prime Curry versus prime MJ.
Jordan wins.
Who has the ball first, though?
That is a very fair question.
Who has the ball first? Because if Steph has the ball first, bro.
What is it? Is this first to 21? 2 and 3?
2 and... no.
1 and 2?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. I feel like Jordan's getting more stops than Curry, though. Because Jordan is defensively better than Curry. And obviously, marginally.
Yeah.
Jordan is a much better defender. I feel like there's a bigger gap in the defense than the offense.
Yeah. I think for me, it's if MJ starts with the ball, he wins. If Steph starts with the ball, man, because
he's getting ball back, eh?
Yeah, and you're getting ball back. He's just smashing down threes.
Think Jordan
obviously
gets
the defense
stops.
is there. The defense is there, but MJ's gonna have to go to the paint every time.
But he'll do it.
But he will do it. But I don't think he can do it. Can he do it? Can he do it 21 times in a row?
Because you think the threes,
you get the extra point.
Shots, adding up.
Like what? When you have let's just say it's 20 flat points, right? He only has to shoot outside 10 times. He has to go in 20 times.
Yeah.
Obviously, MJ can shoot the 3, but he can't shoot as good as.
But against Curry defending, I feel like Jordan's
prime. We're talking prime
but
players.
Still,
I know he's not a defender.
If we're talking prime
I know
Jordan, it's the greatest player of all time.
I know, but he's still greatest player of all time. Still lost games. I'm just gonna say,
yeah, cool. He lost games, but I don't think he's losing to Steph Curry in a 1v1.
I think prime Steph Curry, if he starts off with the ball, he wins. Just saying.
I think if Curry's with the ball to start with, it's more of a debate. I think if Jordan's starting with the ball,
Jordan starts with the ball, he wins.
But Jordan is so much better defensively than Curry is better offensively, if that makes sense. Like Jordan is getting more, like way more stops, and I feel like Curry's lack of defense almost puts Jordan's offense on the same level.
And I also got to say, like the stamina that Steph Curry has, he could just run around circles, tire the old man out.
He's not old.
Oh,
We're talking
man.
prime.
I don't
We're
get
talking
prime. He still has better stamina than
Nah,
like
this is Jordan,
95% of the league. Nah.
Bro, and like just Jordan's mentality where like this story's him like making up things just to take it personally.
Well, it's not like he has the flu during this 21 game, bro.
Mate, what if he has the flu? What if we're talking? You're talking prime Jordan. Maybe this is flu Jordan.
Flu Jordan. I think the better question is if what if it was the 13 out of 13 Klay Thompson?
What if it was 5 Michael Jordans versus 5 Steph Currys? Like Jordan's winning.
In a like full game of basketball?
Yeah, full court.
Steph Curry.
No, what?
Steph Curry.
No
Bro,
way.
the three. If you're talking threes, man, like obviously you're going back and forth.
True,
It's
yeah.
not you're going back and forth.
There's now 5 of
prime
them.
Curry. You have 5 prime Currys that can shoot from half court, like
Yeah.
consistent, somewhat
But
consistently.
like Jordan was so, like he was.
I
he
know,
was
but you're
good
going back and
defensively.
forth. This in a full game.
Yeah.
Curry's winning that, bro. Prime Curry.
Oh, I
They
don't know
defend-
5 prime Currys are
You have
defending 5 Jordans.
I'm gonna throw this in 2K later, and I'm gonna pull out the results, and this is gonna be a clip.
Give me Jordan, bro. Give me Jordan.
Give me Curry, man. You guys can call
could
me
go for some
idiots all
Curry.
you like. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I think the 3 is what's gonna kill him, bro.
It is like you look at
Bro,
the modern game.
you
The
have-
3 has killed the game.
Look, and I know that. Don't like. I know we're gonna get comments. Oh, MJ can shoot threes too.
That's what I mean,
But
he
he can't
can.
shoot as good as Curry.
But when Curry's the one defending Jordan versus like
He has another Curry to pass to.
and there's another Jordan defending him. That's like if you're looking at it, who's like if we're looking, just hear me out for a second. If we're doing,
No, because at this point you're asking who's the better coach.
no,
Pat Riley or
just listen. So if they're doing a 3-point contest, just like obviously no defense. Like obviously Curry's winning that easily, right? But that's not the question. Isn't is Curry a better 3-point shooter? The question is Curry defended by Jordan a better 3-point shooter than Jordan defended by Curry? And I feel like Jordan defended by Curry is
talking
hitting
prime
enough shots.
Curry, bro.
And
Bro.
I think Curry defended by Jordan is hitting more shots than Jordan defended by Curry. But I think Jordan's ability to defend at such a higher level than Curry, plus his inside shots and stuff, is enough to beat 5 Currys in a game.
I disagree. Because the question was, what would happen if MJ came up against Steph Curry? It wasn't who's the better defender.
And it wasn't, what if 5 Jordans
What
came
if
up
5
again?
Jordans-
I stick 1v1,
1v1.
first to 20, 1 and 2, I think Jordan wins.
If he starts with the ball.
I think either way, Jordan's winning.
No. If Steph Curry starts with the ball, he wins.
You reckon he's making 10 shots in a row? Jordan's getting,
Bro,
he's getting
prime
stops,
Curry, bro.
He's getting stops, though. I understand.
He's
like,
getting
prime
stops,
Curry,
but so is
he's
Curry.
getting
Curry
stops.
can defend to a bit.
To a bit. This is
Like,
Michael
he can
Jordan.
still-
This is the greatest player of all time.
Second
we're
greatest
talking
player.
about. No, Prime Jordan, greatest player of all time. You can't argue with that. Prime Jordan.
Prime Jordan versus Prime LeBron.
Yeah, it's probably a tie. You know what I mean?
No, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Prime Curry is not beating the greatest player of all time.
I'm
sorry, but if he would, he'd be the greatest player of all time, and he's just not.
No, but he has one of the best reigns of all time. And that's because of his.
This isn't a 3-point contest. This is a 1v1. It's a different game. He's got to.
You're saying that Steph is going to be under pressure against MJ.
And I'm not saying Steph is not making a shot. I'm just saying that Steph is not making every shot, and I feel like Jordan
Neither is
doing-
Jordan.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying in a game of 1v1, first to 21, Jordan is making more shots.
Steph Curry
and
starts
Jordan is scoring more points than Steph Curry.
No, I don't care. You guys can say I have no ball knowledge. I don't give a fuck.
I will say that is the best question we've got
That is
so
the best
far.
question. No, that.
And I might sound like that I'm so just sold on Jordan. I want to stress it's still like it is a debate for me. I'm not saying it's easily Jordan. It's a flip of the coin, but like
Well,
hey,
okay,
if I have
what's the
it's
score?
Jordan.
What's the score? What's the end score?
The score's 21-20, bro. Like it's tight. Well, yeah, 21-20. Jordan wins 21-20.
21-18. 21-17.
21-20, Jordan wins.
18. Yeah, nah. I think
It's a great question.
great question. Thanks, Suey.
Are you-
Great question.
Yeah, shout out to Suey.
That's a clip and a half.
Yeah. Are you happy to go my 3 and then wrap it?
Yeah.
Or do you have any big ones you want to get to?
I'm happy with that, and then we can
'Cause
do like
yeah.
then we can look at All Star and then
We're
wrap it up.
pushing an hour, so that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
this has been
been
good.
a
episode.
good episode.
That was actually
That
such
was
a good
a good
question
question.
because I'm like it is a good question because I'm not like, oh yeah, it's definitely Jordan. I can understand why you'd go Curry, but I just think personally,
I think
let's change it up a little bit. If Shaq had to play point guard and Steph Curry, here we go, and Steph Curry had to play center, both for an entire season, who's coming away with a better season?
Shaq.
Shaq at point guard?
I'm sorry.
Curry's doing nothing at
look,
center.
Look, you stretch the floor with Curry on the offensive end, but there's no... Look,
Yes?
I'm not, I'm
go
not
on,
saying
say
there's
it.
no
Say it.
defense. I'm
Say
not
it.
saying there's
Say
no
it.
defense. No.
Say it.
No, this is
Say it.
bullshit.
Say it.
You've trapped me here.
Say it.
You've done me dirty here.
Say it.
No, but there are 7 foot
Yeah.
players, and I just think, no. Steph Curry is not a center. Shaq can play, can't play point guard, but
He can play it better than
he can
Curry
play a better
center.
point guard than, yeah, he can.
He can just get assists. Like, he can
Exactly.
just pass.
And then, he's just blocking. Imagine
Yeah.
you have Shaq and then another center.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's
Like
true.
you have 2 guards and one of them's playing center. Like
Yeah.
that's,
So yeah, and Curry, we
you playing
both know that Curry can't defend.
he can defend. That's not what I'm saying. I said
That's what
I'm not.
you're dumb, bro. It's Jordan.
It's not Jordan.
It's Jordan. All right.
Jordan's not fucking 7 foot tall.
How tall was Michael Jordan?
How tall is Curry?
Do we have 2K on this TV? Can we pull it up? I want to watch this.
Watch the simulation.
Oh, Michael Jordan's old. It's like, brother, we're talking prime. Michael Jordan looks like he was 6'6". No, 6'4".
6'4"?
6'4".
Bro, 6'4" versus 6'2". Yeah, give me Curry all the day, bro.
No.
If you
He was
look,
defensive.
I'm gonna
player.
piss you off here. I'm gonna piss you off here. If you gave me Wembanyama versus Steph Curry, I'd go Wembanyama because he
he's
has the
high. Yeah,
height.
that's fair
bro.
enough.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
no,
But I just like I think you're sleeping on Jordan's defense. Or I think you're overrating Curry's defense.
I'm not overrating Curry's
Like,
defense.
you're
I just
looking-
think
I think
prime Curry.
You're just looking at it as Curry offense versus Jordan offense. Yes, Curry's better. But you have to understand this is Curry against being defended by Jordan versus Jordan being defended by Curry. Jordan's better in that instance.
he might be a better defender, but no.
Second last question. Do you guys think LeBron would have more rings if KD never joined the Warriors? That's
Well,
an easy yes,
yes.
for me.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
think he goes
would have
back
won
to
at least
back.
one of them. Yeah.
He would have gone back to back.
Yeah.
Um,
And then he'd be the undisputed GOAT, probably.
yeah, because then he would have 5, and
Yeah.
I
And
got
longevity.
yeah, and longevity. And it would be 5 out of 10,
Yeah.
which is like half and half. Which
Yeah.
I actually got a question for you on this. Do you count the bubble ring?
Yeah, it's a ring.
Okay, yeah.
But it is
no,
a Mickey Mouse ring.
It is not a Mickey Mouse ring. Nah.
It's a ring.
I
but
think. Do you count it as legitimate towards as every other?
if you're comparing,
If you count that championship the same as the year before, the year after, and all the other
if you're
years?
taking Michael Jordan's least deserving ring, I don't know how you like judge that because he never played in like a bubble, but just like whatever, like if you're taking Michael Jordan's least deserving ring and putting it against the bubble ring, and going which one's more deserving, Jordan's ring's more deserving.
Stupid take.
But it's just like it is a ring. He's got the ring on, but
And so
it was
I think it's
different,
actually.
though.
I think it's actually one of the best deserving rings.
And you can make that argument, and I understand that argument, but at the same time, it's just it wasn't the same. It was a different sport in a sense. The
look,
the
I
layout
know-
of the season was different.
The layout of the season was different. Yes, there were no fans,
And so that's
but
what-
it was pure basketball.
Yeah, but
Pure
like
basketball.
we're talking NBA, we're not talking pure basketball.
We are talking this year. That year was pure basketball.
I'm not
'cause
saying it
players
wasn't.
didn't-
It was, but I'm saying NBA and that year they are not the same thing.
Look, they're not the same product, but
yeah, exactly.
that's just what makes that ring so much better. In my
And you
opinion.
can make that argument, but at the same time, it's a different ring, is what I'm saying. It's a different.
It's
ring.
a different. But the fact that you said it's that Michael Jordan's least deserving ring.
Look, maybe deserving was
that-
the wrong. That may have been a poor choice of words. I think it's a different ring. You
Okay,
can't
we
hold
can-
it. You can't hold it the same as a regular NBA ring because it is different.
I reckon I'd hold it to a highest.
I'm not saying high. I'm saying it's different. It's
different.
undeniably.
It's
different.
unique.
And you can make cases that it's better, and I understand them, and I don't disagree with them. But you can also make cases that it's worse, and I also understand them and don't disagree with them.
I
You can
don't-
make cases both ways. I think that's there's no fact there. It's all opinion,
Yeah.
to be
I
honest.
agree to disagree on that one.
Well, I'm not disagreeing.
Well,
I'm just saying I understand both ways.
I don't understand.
You
one
don't
way.
understand any way.
I
that
don't
it's
understand. Like
undeserving.
I don't understand like
But,
how
like,
it's
like the beauty of sport, Flax. is
obviously
that
the
teams-
fans and everything.
No, but that's not even where I'm at. I'm like, there's in sport, you have the whole 81 games or 84, whatever, how many games it is. 82. I was close to take
or
the average.
83. Fuck.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
No, 72, 82 and 0. 82 and 0. Yeah, 82 games.
Like you have that, right? It wasn't 82 games that season.
Yeah, but there was a season earlier.
And then my other thing is like the way that the NBA decided who went to the bubble and who didn't, and there were teams that didn't go to the bubble that you could make a case the part of the NBA season is you play those teams as well, and they weren't playing the teams that weren't in the bubble, if that makes sense. Like that's part of sport is if you're the Panthers, you got to play the Newcastle Knights. I mean, they were in the finals. That's a bad example. But like you got to play, the Dragons. You get to play the bad teams as well as the good teams. And there's teams that are, the low, like around 6th spot. They could have been higher if they had more wins based on, the schedule. They're playing more worse teams than the teams. And it changes all the standings, which changes the entire finals format. And it changes everything. And that's where I'm like, based on that, it's arguably less deserving.
All right.
If you understand that sort of
I
thinking.
can slightly understand.
Not saying less deserving, probably not the
Not
right
the
choice
right
of
word
words,
at
but
all.
it makes it different. Because it was deserving, and I understand like it probably is more deserving because, they were away from their families. There's both sides to it. So that's also a good debate. Last question from me, Flax. Well, not from me, but on my little mobile device. Big Bulldogs and Liverpool supporter. Need a basketball team to support. Give me ideas. So my question here, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Obviously, if you're a Bulldogs and Liverpool fan, who would you go for? But at the same time, if you're an Australian, who are you going to go for? If you were coming in and just picking an NBA team, who would you go for? If you're associated to other NRL teams, who would you go for? Let's start with Bulldogs and then work from there.
So with the Bulldogs, I look at teams that have similar sort of fan bases.
I look at colours, fan base, and vibe.
Colours obviously is a big thing, and I'll get to that in a second. But I think fan base and vibe are like that has to be the main thing.
Yeah.
Like you
I
have
agree.
look at the fan base with the Bulldogs, for example, with the Raiders, and the the Knicks are like very
The
very
Knicks
similar.
are the most Bulldogs team in the NBA.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I agree with colour as well because when I was tuning, obviously not NBA, but NFL. When I was choosing my NFL team, I love LA. Like LA is my favorite. I didn't want to go Lakers because I didn't want to go to number 1 team. But
So you admit the Clippers are mid.
at the time, let me rephrase that. At the time, but when I was looking at the NFL teams, both LA teams are blue and yellow, which is Parramatta. And I kind of just didn't want to be seen in blue and yellow.
We didn't want to go back to that after being a Parramatta fan
shut
for so much of your life.
No. Cut.
It's a shame you edit that because I know for a fact that's not making it to the podcast.
No, it will. I won't cut anything. So, but for me, look, I ended up going Detroit Lions, and the reason I went Detroit Lions is like friends said, people like suggested it, and they had a really cool fan base. They have almost Knicks Bulldogs fan base in terms of like just because of the history that
Almost
team has
because of the suffering.
and that's another thing you got to look into as well, history. So for me, I chose LA basically because I love the city. Yeah. Like, and I guess
and that's a big reason why I'm a Knicks fan.
Another like New York. A lot of people like New York. A lot of people like, and I think for Australians, what majority of people do is they go, "Oh, what's my favorite city?" Well, like a lot of people say LA, a lot of people say New York, a lot of people say Florida or like Miami.
You want to associate with the team. You don't just want to pick a team. You want to be a part of that team.
Exactly.
Right? So you want to be picking, a city that you like, or like it's hard. You don't want to pick a player that you like because they'll leave. Like, so you want to associate with the city.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also, because I know a lot of people, and nowadays with the NBA as well, because there's so many trades and whatnot, a lot of people go follow a player like Kyrie Irving. A lot of people follow him. Luka is a great example. A lot of people love him. And they follow like where their player goes, and they get the player jerseys even though they support a different team.
Yeah.
So I think the team a lot of Australians choose is based on the city they love.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of people back in the day just chose Bulls because that was like the household name.
Yeah,
Michael
they were
Jordan was
cool.
everywhere. Like, you know, he was
Yeah.
like another celebrity. So
Yeah.
Lakers, again, you know,
Very
with Magic,
popular. Yep.
Boston with Bird, like
Yep.
that whole thing. But
Golden
now
State.
Golden, not really back in the day.
Not back
nowadays.
In, so like when I was in high school, like everyone was going for Golden State because of Curry and stuff.
Well, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like what 2016, you know,
yeah,
everyone
exactly, yeah.
bandwagon.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and then you have. So I think a lot of people. What do you think? Like, I think for me, a lot of it's to do like with the city you love. Obviously, for me, LA, you love New York.
Yeah.
Which surprised me you didn't want to go to Nets.
Well, my two favorite colors so the colors are like obviously Bulldogs. blue and
Colors is
white.
then another thing.
Giants, who I already was going for, blue, and then my second favorite color, before I was a Knicks fan, second favorite color was orange. So I feel like you want to find a city you like, you want to find a fan base that you can get around. Not even a fan base that's similar to the other teams necessarily, but a fan base that almost represents you. Because like especially if you're being online and trying to be part of that community, you want to be vibing, right?
Yeah.
So I think you want to find something you connect to through fan base and or city. And then if there's multiple choices, that's when you go to colors.
Yeah. And for me, So with the thing, I didn't want to have the number one team at the time, and everyone was.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off because that is an excellent point as well. Do not pick the number one team as well.
Yeah,
that's
do
very
not pick the
important.
number one team in this. If
You're not picking the best team.
So like you have New York and Nets,
Yeah.
Nets and Knicks. Go to Knicks.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go to Nets. Sorry. Florida, Miami and Orlando. They're kind of
They're all right.
They're 50-50.
Knicks are very on the fence at the moment of you're getting very close to bandwagon territory.
Yeah.
Very close. I feel like you can still do it, but it's
like
you might hear it a little bit.
It's
But
kind of close.
and then teams like if you're jumping on the Celtics, like bro,
Yeah,
come
like,
on.
come on,
Don't no, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for example, for this Bulldogs fan, I feel like if he likes New York as a city, obviously as we said, Knicks fan base very similar to Bulldogs fan base, colors are the same. Jump on the Knicks. But if you are a big like LA guy, maybe you've been to LA as a kid, I don't know, or Chicago or just anywhere, go with the city.
What's like the opposite of that? Like what would be the obviously Australian players too. Like if you because I know a lot of people like the Charlotte Hornets because LaMelo played for Illawarra, went to NBA.
Well, like staying on NRL teams, like Panthers, who would you say is the NBA team for the Panthers? As we said, like you sort of want to pick
I'd say
city,
Golden State. Well, if you want to compare, like I'd say Golden State because of dynasty. You have success and stuff like that.
Newcastle Knights and Chicago Bulls. They both had the big success in the 90s. They both had arguably the greatest player of all time.
I'm gonna actually say
class.
Parramatta. Obviously 90s, big,
Oh,
but like
yeah,
Parramatta
in a
with the
way.
4 and 6
in a way.
years.
I feel like the big thing for Bulls and Knights for me is like Joey Johns and Michael Jordan though.
Yeah.
And it was both 90s. But Parramatta's a fair shout because they're like, if you want to look at it that way, you almost get Knicks
and like you also have the years following,
Yeah.
like they haven't done anything since.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah, that's sort of
Utah Jazz would like.
Yeah.
I don't think. Oh, Joe Ingles. Like I'm sure a few fans went to Utah for Joe Ingles.
But yeah, I'm sure. Hamish Blake lookalike. But yeah, I feel like we're sort of covered. Like, if you're new to the NBA and you're sort of looking for a new team, if there's a city you really like in America, go with them. Try and like. Obviously, it's hard to vibe what a fan base is, but you can sort of like try and work out what the fan base's vibes are.
What teams
and
to
then
avoid?
colours as well. And don't be a bandwagon.
Don't go like
Don't go for the
Washington Wizards.
Don't go for Pistons.
Utah, Portland. Don't go for Sacramento. They're a fun fan base, but their team is their admin administration's just like terrible. OKC before they were really good would like a good team to vibe.
Yeah. I've got a question. If you hadn't picked Clippers, if you were brand new to NBA today, who would you pick?
Well, I love LA.
Would you still go Clippers?
I love LA.
So you'd go what would you go Lakers? Because they're not currently really good.
And that's where you bring the colors into it. I don't really like the yellow purple, and I'm a Sydney Kings fan, which is purple and yellow.
Yeah.
And if I was to ever get a jersey, it would be the black and yellow because I like the black and gold type look.
Yeah.
I've never really liked the gold and
Yeah.
Oh, like not even gold. It's yellow and purple. I've never really liked that color scheme.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would suit me anyway. So I would always go. But if I took LA out of it, like let's just take LA out of it. I mean, like, I don't want to say OKC, but like, it would be out of like if OKC weren't doing well. You know what? Dallas.
Well, I was
Dallas.
actually
I was
going
gonna
to
say
say
a
New
lot-
York out of it, I'd probably go Dallas.
A lot of Australian fans I've noticed as well are Dallas fans.
Yeah.
And it depends again, and that's on player because a lot of people love Luka.
Yeah.
And it depends on the player you like. So if you're brand new into NBA, just like look at players that you vibe with,
And be warned, they will leave though.
and they will leave.
Most of the time.
99% of the time.
Correct.
And that's where players get jerseys. Like I'm wearing a Kawhi jersey, but
And also maybe do some research into the team's history because you don't want to be going for a team that hasn't won since the 70s. I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend it.
yeah, you don't want to end up with like a New York Giants
Or
type.
Knicks. Yeah, it's it's different.
Like
to the-
Washington, you don't want to like.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person, like unless they're like born into it, that goes like, "Huh, I'm gonna go pick
I knew a
Washington."
kid that went for Washington in high school. Poor dude.
Poor man.
Poor dude. Got beat up a lot.
Yeah, makes sense. Sounds right.
I was gonna say quickly as well. Like if you look at NRL, outside of like there are some teams with long droughts, but there are a lot of teams that win. There's a lot of different teams that can win the comp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you look at the past, if you look at every team, the longest drought is the Eels in the 80s. And then the next, there's 2 in the 90s, and that's all in the thousands. Like
Well, if you-
nearly every team has won in the last 30 years. In the NBA, in the NFL, because there's so many more teams, there is genuinely teams that won't win in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So be careful who you
Well,
pick.
what perfect example. Denver just won
Yeah.
a few, like 2 years ago. Bucks won the first time in 50 years.
Like
50 years.
teams over there don't like. Remember when South won the
Clippers
comp?
haven't won a chip. Like
That's what I mean. Like it's like it is normal over there for teams to not win. You're not going to be like, oh, like they'll win eventually. They might not.
I've seen a grand like because Detroit Lions. This is like their first
Yeah, they
level
don't
of
win.
success.
Yeah, they suck.
They haven't like I don't think they've won a Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
like they haven't seen success in a long time. And there was like a 90-year-old going yeah. And so like just be prepared.
Baseball's crazier. They have like over 100 years. Like Cubs was over 100 years. Pretty sure Red Sox had over 100 years, and it's just like
and it's crazy that like Back to the
Wild.
Future predicted that too.
yeah.
just-
No, I could sit here and yap about that forever. That is crazy.
Yeah.
that is crazy.
That is
Shout out to
insane.
Back to the Future, greatest movie of all time.
I would say if you're looking for a new team now, look for a play-in team. I would say a play-in team.
even above play-in because like
Above
it's still.
play-in, I wouldn't go top 3. Don't go top 3.
I think
Top 3. So that's Knicks,
I think
Boston,
Knicks is play on top 2.
Knicks, Boston, Cleveland.
Knicks is on the fence. In
So
the
it's
East.
so hard to say not top 3 for West because it's OKC, Houston, and Memphis.
That's what I mean. Like you can't really just pick positions, but just don't be a bandwagon.
Don't be a
Vibe it.
bandwagon.
Don't be a
And
bandwagon.
if you are, own it. So
yeah,
yeah.
don't deny it.
like
Like the South Sydney, the Panthers fan I ran into the other week that was like, I was like, how long have you gone for Panthers for? And he's like, oh, no, sorry. I said, are you a bandwagon? He's like, nah. I was like, oh, how long have you gone for him for? He's like, 4 years. I'm like, bro. I was like, who'd you used to go for? South Sydney.
it's crazy that there's
Bandwagon.
like there are kids going into primary school that haven't seen anything but Panthers success.
I mentioned at the top of the podcast, this is a nice full circle moment to conclude. I don't know why I drew a circle. That's fine. I moved to Wollongong like a fair few years ago. I haven't seen a non-Panthers team win the comp since before I lived in Wollongong.
Yeah.
And like people that know me from my content only know me from like living in Wollongong.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Crazy
insanity. Like what was the last, like 2020, the end of 2020 was the last time they didn't win.
Yeah.
And they were in the grand final that year.
Yeah.
It's just a long time.
Very long time. I was because I was 1 when we won. Obviously,
When you're an Eels fan.
I didn't have a choice in the matter. But
Same. That's why I'm a
what
Dogs fan.
2020 we won. Oh, we made the grand final loss and went 21. So I was 19.
Yeah.
The next time
Yeah.
we what made it. So
Yeah. In
but
the NBA, it's worse.
NBA it's like 10
like
times
actually
worse.
do your research.
Like if you want a safe option, go the Lakers because I'm sure they'll win something very
Yeah.
soon. Maybe
There are teams there where you're like they just should.
they
but,
should.
I don't know.
And they'll be contending. Like Dallas, as long as Luke is there, should be contending. Bucks as long
you
as
almost
Giannis
have
there.
to be satisfied with contending
Yeah,
because it's so
Yeah.
hard to win.
exactly.
It's so hard to win.
But yeah, This has been a
Yeah.
very good
This
episode.
has been great, bro. We should do Q&A. We should almost do like a monthly Q&A.
Yeah.
Like with Freddie here
Yeah, I just want to know what he would have said
in the curry one.
debate.
Call him.
Call him. You know,
I'm not even kidding.
you know what?
To wrap it up,
Let's wrap it up. We're
see
going to
if
do
he
a call in.
because I want to know as well, and the people want to know.
I genuinely wonder if he's going to pick up. It's 9 o'clock right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he will.
He usually is awake. If he doesn't,
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Leave a
The
voicemail.
person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey Fred, this is Ryan from the Nothing But Net podcast. We have a question for you regarding basketball. Believe it or not. Ripley's believe it or not.
Oh!
That's an inside joke if you guys don't get it.
There's no way they get it.
There's no
It's an
way they
inside
get it.
joke.
It's an inside joke unless you've watched one of my videos back in the day.
With its 40 views.
With its
'cause
40
nobody cares
views.
about Winston. Ripley's believe it or not. So, anyway,
Back to
shout
Fred.
Fred.
If MJ was to go up against Steph Curry in a 1v1, first to 21,
1 and 2.
1 and 2, Steph Curry with the ball and Michael Jordan with the ball, both outcomes, who would win? Please respond back and we'll get your answer on the story of the podcast. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for
I don't know
watching.
if he'll check his.
I don't check voicemail.
I was going to say, like, what are the odds he checks his voicemail?
Yeah.
And if he hasn't, we're going to leave that there.
Yeah,
And that's
don't
content
worry.
for next week.
Don't worry, you will get hectic Fred's
You will
answer.
get a hectic friend answer.
Thank you for listening. That'll do us, I reckon. This
An
has been
hour and
genuinely
11
fun.
minutes.
This has flown.
This is
Not
flow.
that it doesn't normally fly.
Yeah,
it's
but
just-
like,
this
this
has
is
been good,
good.
bro. It's been good. Leave in the comments if you made it to the end, Curry or Jordan. Who's your pick winning a
Who's
1v1?
who's your pick?
And if we were giving out money for best question, which we're not, but if we were,
That's the-
Suey, you're just
Suey.
getting your money back.
Sui, I'll give you $5 for letting me use the studio. All right, guys. See ya. Bing bong.
Bing bong. You're meant to do the this guy.